It's the Spin Market Report. Here's your host, Peter Stockdale.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Mackenzie Schwanke, my co-host, everybody. We're sitting down today with Laura Todd and Jean Bral. You guys work for Buena Vista University? Buena Vista University? How do we pronounce it? Let's start right off the bat. How's that?
Both ways work for us.
Both ways work? Is there a preferred way? Or because I've definitely heard both ways.
Historically, it used to be Buena Vista.
All right.
But we've here Buena as well now.
You just go with it, kind of whatever.
We do.
All right.
Yes, definitely.
I didn't know if that was something the closer you get, if over to the Storm Lake area, if they were going to correct you or not. I didn't know. So, all right.
That's why you go with the non-controversial and just say BV.
BV.
Shorten it up.
So you guys are the Director of Strategic Partnerships and the Vice President of Extended University Programs, respectively, Laura and Jean, correct? What do those positions entail, I guess? Let me start with that for kind of just a broad question. So what do you do, I guess, in a general sense at BV?
Yeah, no, great question. I work with organizations, mostly in the state of Iowa. Some of them have a footprint outside of our state. And what we do is partner with them to provide tuition discount rates for all of their employees and their family members of full-time employees.
Awesome.
So I work with those businesses, schools. We have some community colleges we work with to provide that education benefit. So it's been part of the university for about 4 years, a newer division of the university, and it's been great to watch it grow.
Yeah, it's got to be really helpful for, everyone involved, honestly, both on your part and for all the people you're helping out on the other end, too. We've all been to college. We all know how it works.
Right.
It's
Just a little bit.
Yeah. You've got more degrees than a thermometer. What are we talking about here?
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's not always the easiest thing going back to school or going to school and kind of get it all worked out and stuff like that. So it's nice. How about you? What are we doing at the vice president level there?
Yep. So I oversee 3 different divisions. I oversee our online undergraduate programs, our graduate programs, and our strategic partnership division.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. That's sweet. I did some online stuff and I did some in-class stuff. So I'm a little bit on pace with some of that stuff there. Okay. So you guys are a private nonprofit university, correct?
Got it.
All right. So what is the most important goal of your university for, let's say the staff, students, or perhaps even just the community that you're serving, which is honestly pretty wide. We'll get to how many locations you have here in a second, but what's your guys' main goal for your university?
Yes, so really our motto is education for service, and we really, I've been in higher education for 25 years, and so I've seen over the years that education really can change a person's life, change where they're headed, change where they want to be, and take them to different places. And so our main goal is really just to provide that education and that background and those experiences for students to go back into their communities where they live and to really improve their communities and their families' lives.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to say that, it's so crazy because I didn't go back to school until I was older. And so I didn't really I don't want to say I didn't think about those kind of things, but it wasn't until I was, a little bit more mature, went back to school and kind of, I do accounting. I kind of realized I'm actually helping out the community I'm in, or I can actually use my skill set now instead of just be a laborer of some sort. Not that there's anything wrong with being a laborer because I did it for 10 years, but it's nice to have that skill set that's provided to people, not just for, me, but it helps out the entire community as well. And again, we were talking about the amount of places you have here. So I said, what's the benefits of having the main campus in Storm Lake and all the satellite locations? Let's just kind of run through a little bit of this. Main campus is in Storm Lake, but you have 13 satellite locations I found on your website, including right here in Fort Dodge. We're talking Council Bluffs, Creston, Denison, Emmitsburg, Esterville, Fort Dodge, Marshalltown, Mason City, Newton, Ottumwa, Spencer, Sioux City, and West Burlington. That's basically the whole state, isn't it?
Well, it covers a lot of area. Yes, it does. Yep.
So what are the benefits of having the main campus in Storm Lake?
So we're located on the beautiful shores of the lake, and so it's a different experience. It's a residential experience, so it's different than what an online adult learner student might be looking for. So we offer all of the normal things you would expect, like athletics and esports and stunt, and just really students that want to come to Storm Lake, live in the dorms, and attend classes face-to-face is the experience that they're seeking.
I thought that was one of the coolest things when I was looking through your website was like the pictures that you guys have of some of the locations that are just right there on campus. It looks so amazing. It's right there in Storm Lake.
Of course, I have to ask, when you said stunt?
Yes. Yep.
Like-
so like cheer stunt.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, what are we talking about here?
You got people flipping cars in Storm Lake. I
Well,
don't know.
hey, you know, it could be parkour. I don't know.
You never know. So 13 satellite locations. How does that come about? I guess like maybe that might be a little bit outside of your guys' domain, but like how do you get 13 satellite locations? Was it just kind of as a university, you're like, well, it might work out best if we have one over here and one over here. Did you kind of start partnering up with different communities, or how does that all work out?
Right. So 50 years ago, it'll be 50 years ago next year, our first BVU center was in Fort Dodge at Iowa Central. And so that's a fun fact for all of you.
Nice.
And so basically our president had the vision back then, President Briscoe, that how do we teach people that are place bound? And so back then we offered evening classes on Mondays and Thursdays at the Iowa Central campus. And so it just was another way for students to get their degree that couldn't leave family and job responsibilities to get their education.
Beautiful. I mean, that makes sense for me because that's, again, I went back to school as an adult and I ended up doing night classes because I was working at an accounting firm for a while. So it worked out best for me to kind of do that route, I guess. So it makes a lot of sense, especially when I live up in Humboldt. There's no colleges or universities up in Humboldt, and I'm not particularly fond of doing online classes. So having those satellite locations like that for universities definitely helped me out for sure. So it makes a lot of sense, and it actually seems like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I did think I knew that about Fort Dodge, that Iowa Central had one of the very first.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You'd think I would, but no, I don't.
Yeah, I remember when we were going to school there, that was like one of the things they had said, if you want to you can just stay here basically and keep going, get your 4-year at BV. And that was kind of the benefit of that was it was almost just tied directly into a 4-year degree. If you really wanted one, you could just stay there and keep doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for satellite, for people that are a part of the satellite campuses, are they limited by like the classes that they can take?
Well, so it has evolved over the years. I should mention that. Like now, starting in 2019, we moved to a hybrid and online delivery format versus on the ground, face-to-face classes. So, and that was really at, the urging of the students that they were desiring something more flexible and something where that they could still continue their jobs and not have to be on the campus at night and go somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so we don't offer the same number of majors online that we do as the main campus, correct?
Yeah.
So, but we offer just around 25 majors that you can complete online.
That's still a lot. It's come a long ways. I remember, I'm a little bit older than some of my counterparts in the room here, but I do remember like when I first started doing online coursework, it was like there's not quite as many things available as there were. I went to school for 4.5 years to get my 4-year degree. Oh, well. But by the time, that was weird because it was in that time span where like even in that 4 years, there was more offerings from more different universities and stuff like that, including BV. It's crazy how fast this evolves and how fast it changes. Like you said, it's the demand of the students or the communities or the people you're serving. You're just trying to help them out and provide more for them in their sense. So that makes a lot of sense. I almost want to ask more about these satellite locations. Is there satellite locations you guys travel a lot to when you guys are doing your work, or do you guys spend most of your time in Storm Lake?
Go ahead.
We do have people that are living in those communities that are part of those locations and serve the students there. So mostly we're in Storm Lake. Jean probably travels to the sites a little more than I do, but we have a team of people that are all across the state, like you were talking about, that are already embedded in those communities and already involved and are the face of BVU there.
That's awesome. That's beautiful too. It's not like you're just sending someone in, like I would say like somebody foreign in, but somebody that's like not part of the community. They're already there. So it's kind of like they already have a trusted face right there in your own town to kind of guide you to where you need to go for all things BV on the satellite location. So that's really nice. I guess I don't know why I would have thought you guys would have traveled. It's not like somebody lives in Storm Lake and you guys are driving all the way to West Burlington to do your satellite stuff. So it does make a lot of sense. You guys offer a lot of online undergraduate programs. You also have online graduate programs. So what are the benefits of offering both of those types of things, undergraduate and graduate, in the online format for individuals that are looking to get some sort of an education?
I think, going back to school is, like you said, scary and very challenging for people. And so what we're trying to do is, if they're working adults or they're just in the workforce, we want to be able to help them get their education. And offering it in an online format means they can do their coursework anytime that they want to, weekends, nights, mornings, whatever time of day they want to do it. Mm-hmm. And so we offer a transcript evaluation for people that are thinking about going back to school, because just taking that first step is really hard to do, and people may not understand, what does that mean when you say you're online, because it can have different, people have different ideas about it. And so we have academic advisors that really work closely with people. And I think that's what sets us apart, is they really try to help remove those barriers and help make people comfortable with what does online learning look like at the undergraduate and graduate level.
Yeah. So like for the teachers and stuff that are part of that, how easily accessible are they to like the students that are taking those classes? Because I know, like, when I was in school, obviously I did all in person. I was not an online class person, but being able to like message my teachers and to get a response, like if it was something that was pretty urgent or something, that was really important to me, and to be able to actually communicate with my teachers directly. How like easily accessible are they for satellite students?
So all online programs use a learning platform. We use Canvas. And so that is the main way that they're communicating with their faculty members, is if they have a question, they're going to email or message them through the Canvas platform. If they need, some face-to-face time through like Zoom or Teams, then they set up an appointment with them. And most are very responsive to that as well, just to make sure, hey, if we need to get together and talk about this. We also offer virtual tutoring, online tutoring, which would be another component that is a little bit different too, that if you need help with, someone to review your paper or to help with some tutoring for a course, we offer that virtual online tutoring resource as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember, like you said, going back to school, and I tried to steer clear from online classes if I could help it, but when I got to a point where I almost had to take online coursework. Otherwise, it was going to be inconvenient for me. So I started taking the online coursework. And it's just like you said, that the instructors or the tutors or the people that were there in between you and the coursework were usually very, very helpful. You'd get a hold of somebody, and within a day, they'd get back to you, and they'd always offer you, like, I will be free at this time if you want to Zoom with me. You just have to let me know. And I think that's one of the best parts, that it's changed a lot. Online coursework has changed a lot. I graduated high school in 2006. I took some online classes then. It's not the same as it is now. You were lucky to get an email back then, and that was basically all you were going to get. Like Zoom and Skype weren't exactly a thing. Things like Canvas weren't exactly a thing either. There wasn't too much that you could conglomerate with all of your students or with a group of people. It wasn't as easy as it is now. And I think that's one of the best parts about online coursework now, is it's actually a little bit easier than it was, even 5 to 10 years ago, So I guess, man, when I graduated, it was almost 20 years ago now. Time's flying by, everybody.
And some of the courses meet virtually. They do. They might have a meeting time in the evening if it's tougher content that they want to get everybody together to really walk through.
Yeah. I recall doing that with one of my. I took in like a business law course once, and that was what we did with that one. Everybody kind of got together to that was one that definitely worked better as a group. So like sometimes in a situation like that, it's perfect for when it works better with a group. Sometimes you need more people to levy in their opinions or their thought process behind something, because it's not always black and white. Like coursework isn't always just like, this is the answer, it's the only answer. Sometimes you need to kind of hash it out with the people around you. What are some of the more popular programs that you guys have offered there? I have that on my list here. I don't know if that was a question you guys wanted me to keep on the list. I can't remember.
Nope, we're good.
All right.
On the undergraduate side, we offer, I would say our top majors are education, human services, psychology, business, accounting, and then organizational leadership. And on the graduate level, they're all very about the same. We offer mental health counseling, professional school counseling, educational administration, teacher leadership, special education, and organizational leadership. So really a focus, like our motto, education for service, is kind of where we've put our focus right now.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that like your university focuses on that, and you're also focusing your coursework and the students on that as well. I feel like that's it. I mean, this isn't on the list, but is that what universities usually kind of do? They kind of just pick like, this is our window and what we're going to kind of target in on, and we're going to go for this, I guess. I mean, that might be too broad of a question, but.
Well, the competition is fierce, right? There's a lot of competition in higher education. And so having that focus does help, where are we going and where do we want to be in the marketplace, right?
Yeah, a goal without a plan would just be a dream. You gotta have the goal to make the plan to get there. So that makes a lot of sense. Do you have many transfer students that come in and finish their 4-year degrees, or even just people coming over to do a 2-year, or maybe even finish their 2-year degree over there? Or people that even people that just started and didn't finish and that kind of come over and be like, we're just going to do it over here because it's convenient because you guys have online coursework.
Yeah, that's really been our niche is degree completion, as we call it, where students have done some coursework. And anymore with the dual enrolled classes in high school, a lot of people are coming in with college credit. It's
especially with those high school classes, because I started doing online college classes when I was a sophomore. And I mean, that was a big deal, game changer for me. I know I got rid of all my the requirements. So like your
general education.
English
like
101.
Comp 1, Comp 2, all of that public speaking, got those out of the way so I didn't have to do those when I got to college.
It gives you a chance to focus. I mean, you're right, though. I had coursework that I did in high school that when I went back to Iowa Central and I tried to, I was like, I'm going to finish my degree here and we'll start something and kind of get it fresh because it's local to me. That's what I found out. I was like, oh, this coursework didn't disappear. I took it in high school. And most of it was still applicable. There was a couple of them they couldn't transfer through because of time. It had been too much time had passed. Mostly computer stuff, because computer stuff had changed enough in that time span that it didn't work out so well. But I guess, do you usually see a lot of people that come in? I want to say like older, kind of like I did, or is it just a broad mix of people coming right out of high school and people that are also coming in to finish it maybe in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s extended? Because I mean, when I went to college, there was people from all age groups in there.
Right. It would be the same for us. When we look at our demographics, I think our average age is 28 years old. And so we do have some online freshmen that are right out of high school all the way up to 50 and 60-year-olds. So it's never too late, right? Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if anybody's listening and they're, you think you're too old for college, you're not. You're definitely not. You guys are probably going to be the best people in college. Nothing against the younger folk out there, but yeah, don't shy away from it. I've seen a lot of people go on to change their lives, in the later stages of their life, just from going back to college and getting a new job. So if anybody's listening to this might be exactly where you need to inquire about some of this information because, like you said, your average age was around 28. That's 10 years out of school, which is about where I was when I went back to school. So
in our accounting classes, we had people older. I mean, almost 50s,
maybe 60s. It was, and every single one of them went out and got jobs. So this could be the exact same thing here at BV for everybody, plus the convenience of the satellite locations or online coursework might just make it that much easier for people in their day-to-day lives. If you already have a job and you can't necessarily walk away from your job and then go be a full-time student, you still have the opportunity to kind of do that, night work and things like that.
The great thing about the way that we're structured is we're 8-week terms, and so you're taking 1 or 2 courses every 8 weeks. So if life does happen, you have a baby, you need to take care of an aging parent, you need to take a second job, we allow what we call stop outs, and so students can take a little break, and then when they're ready to resume, they can jump back in by contacting their academic advisor. So it's not like if something happens, you have to start,
all over again.
Right. It's not a mess. It's very doable. And that's really what we're built to serve is to help the students that life happens all the time.
Yeah. I mean, life happens is why there's 28-year-olds going back to college, life does happen and you can't really stop any of that stuff, but it's fun that you have basically like a 2-month, you said 8 weeks. So it's about 2 months compared to 16 weeks or 4 months is about what I would say like the normal semester, quote unquote, is. So you also give, it's not like you're going to miss out on, let's say if you only go a month, you have half the coursework done, and you could essentially pause it and then come back and finish it. That's what you're telling me?
No, I mean, we do work with students that have situations like that where they need an extended amount of time if something does happen in their families. I have some things that are coming to mind right now about those students that have had tragedy in their life, and they just need to they need a little more time. Take 2 weeks off, but I need that 2 weeks beyond. So we do work with that. But typically, we like to see them finish the 8-week terms.
Yep.
But there are times we have to work with where we do get to work with students to help them out.
Yeah, an 8-week term isn't super cumbersome. I mean, when you think about 8 weeks, it's like not that. But when somebody says, "Oh, you're gonna have to take classes for 16 weeks," it's like, holy cow, 16 weeks. That's gonna be a long. I'll be 40 by the time I graduate, or whatever. Not, but 8 weeks. That's pretty cool. Do you ever have anybody take on like a larger course load than just like 1 or 2 courses? Do people ever come in there and just really try and chug it out?
They can. Yes, they can. But we don't recommend. We don't recommend it for success if you have a family and a job. All those other factors. It just depends on everybody's different in their situation.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, you start paying too much attention to this, not enough attention to that, it might, kind of be a little cumbersome for some people.
Burn you out in a hurry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Got to keep that personal life balance and make sure you have time for the family.
So you guys have transfer students come in. You have people coming in with maybe some coursework from high school that they completed. Maybe you got new students coming in, all ages, all across the board in every sector of all of that. So what about the partnerships you have with community colleges? Because I had mentioned Iowa Central before, but I believe you have some sort of a partnership with them based on having a satellite location almost right there at the university. It's right there at the university, isn't it? Or it's just like right down the road, isn't it?
We're located on the Iowa Central campus.
Right on the campus. Yep. You don't even have to leave the campus.
You can see a little nice Buena Vista sign in that. What is that building called?
I don't know. They keep changing them. I don't know.
Anymore, they change it so much. I don't even remember what it's called.
I drove through not too long ago, and it was quite different. But what about these partnerships? Do you have partnerships with any other community colleges or any other areas?
We do. So we partner with 11 other community colleges across Iowa, and that's why we have offices embedded on their community college campuses.
That's awesome.
And we either have staff that is on the ground at those locations or covered by another site location, a staff from another location.
That's great. You want to give a shout out to any of those colleges, or are they just the ones that are in the satellite locations?
Yep.
A lot of people could probably figure out what a lot of those are, but so if you go to any of those satellite locations, there's probably a community college somewhere nearby partnering up with BV.
Yes.
That's wild too, because that's basically the entire state. Like we mentioned all these towns earlier, west coast to east coast, north to south. Basically all the corners too. You're hitting them all. That's awesome. So through your university strategic partnerships division, you provide tuition discounts to partnering businesses and organizations, employees, and their eligible family members. As college costs have risen, how has this initiative been beneficial to your university's success? So, we all know that tuition costs have risen, but how does this help out? Both you and the community.
We feel like it's a win-win situation for those organizations and for Buena Vista University. We've done this for about 4 years now. So again, it's a newer part of the university and an initiative there. But in that time, we've grown to over 180 organizations, so businesses, schools, and then our community college partners to offer those discounted tuition rates to their employees and their family members. And it's been great. It's so exciting to offer that education benefit. We see a lot of people taking advantage of it. And I think it's wonderful because it does offer discounted tuition for our undergraduate programs, whether they're online or at the residential campus. And then our master's in organizational leadership program is discounted. So again, hopefully people are staying in their communities, living, working, raising their families in Iowa too. I know that's a big push across our state to get people to stay here and work and live. So the best part about it is it's not a cost to the organization to work with us, and it's not exclusive to do so. So there's a lot of great benefits and perks to working with Buena Vista University.
That's awesome. So it's not like you're going to Iowa Central and saying, pay us money and we'll help you guys out. It's a partnership. It's an actual partnership between you guys, or like even with other local communities that are within one of these satellite locations. Exactly. Businesses, you said, as well?
Yes. Yep. We have probably over 100 businesses right now that we're working with. And again, most of them are in the state of Iowa, but they do have some employees outside of the state. So that's really where our online programs come in there and can help those people too, as they want to complete their degree, even if they're not living in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
The win for the employer is it's part of their employee benefits package.
Oh, nice.
And so I know of one situation in particular where they were hiring a person for a position, and she came and she worked for them because she could get her master's degree through Buena Vista because of the strategic partnership that we had with that particular business. And so they're wrapping it into their employee benefits.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That only helps the employer too, because you're basically like getting somebody smarter. You know,
Right.
they're going to be better.
We would hope so.
Well, they're going to be better served with talent for the job that they have, you know, or to be able to go vertically in the job that they have, you know, within the business, instead of being kind of stuck there. I guess I want to say somebody would be stuck, because you can always go back to school and change it. But this makes, like you said, it's part of the benefits package of the job, which, trust me, I know that's always been one of my favorite things about going to a job is the benefits package. You always got to take advantage of the benefits package, everybody. So check it out. Maybe your business has some sort of an agreement with BV or not. Do you think is this one of those things where like the businesses choose you, or do you choose the businesses based on what you offer, or how do you guys even find each other?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We do a lot of different conferences, especially with the human resources type individuals. So we do that. A lot of our people at the satellite locations connect us with businesses in their areas. You know, working with students, it's just another benefit or way we can say, hey, you want to partner with us? You'll get a little break on your tuition, and always somebody else at the business is thinking about school too, or might benefit from it, or their family members. So it's really just kind of growing organically, just doing those things and being in different communities. And we usually have press releases when we partner with somebody, and that usually kind of sparks another conversation. So it's just growing that way.
Nice. And I think those press releases is probably one of those, it's almost like a secret weapon. That's kind of what we deal with here is marketing, you know, and that is essentially just marketing. You know, you're like saying, we did this good thing for this community, for this business, for this, area. And then somebody else says, maybe we can get in on this too, or maybe they can help us out, or maybe, my business would benefit from this because X, Y, Z. And then they can like you said, it sparks a conversation. You never know what's going to happen.
Right. And growing your own. I think you kind of touched on that too. Maybe someone, is starting at maybe a lower level job somewhere, and they're looking to move into middle management. So that really is kind of that retention there. It might be a good tool for that. Schools have used it with their paraeducators. They see that person working in the classroom, and hey, why don't you go back and get your education? We partner with BVU. If you take education classes through them, they're advancing their careers. So it's, again, been really fun to watch it grow.
Oh, I bet. I bet that has to be probably one of the most rewarding things is watching people take that next step. It's hard to describe, like, having that happen to me. I mean, you were a tiny bit older when you went back to school and finished, I wouldn't say older. You weren't my age, but.
Yes and no, because I I graduated, and then I would go back again. So I never, I didn't take a gap.
Yeah.
There was no gap year or anything like that. But when I was in accounting or in stuff, I was a little, not older than the other people, but a couple years older, where it felt, at first it was a little nerve wracking, I guess, because you didn't, I felt old.
yeah, exactly. Then you go in and you see people like me and you're like, it's not so bad.
Yeah. And then I hang out with the older people. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes commencement the very best day of the year, because we know that the students have given up a lot, sacrificed a lot, and they had to have a lot of grit and determination to complete their degrees. And they just had more on their plate than a normal student. And so it's very emotional.
Oh yeah, for
especially
sure.
those when you know the story behind how they struggled. And
yeah.
they were able to do it.
Yeah, one of my friends, I think she got her master's at your at Buena Vista, and I actually went to their graduation, and so it was kind of a really cool experience. I love the you guys walk down the stairs
Through the arch. Yeah.
Yes, and that was like such a really cool thing to see, and then everybody's trying to get their picture there afterwards, and it was kind of a really cool experience. I'd never even known anything about like your guys' ceremony and stuff, so that part was kind of a really cool experience to see.
Yeah, so that arch is from the old main. When it burned, they were able to salvage the arch, and then so students, when they start at Buena Vista, the freshmen walk through it into the chapel, and then when they graduate, they process from the chapel over to the field house through the arch again. So it is a really cool tradition.
Wow.
That's awesome. Oh man, how rewarding. I mean, again, I just think about my story, and I'm only one of probably dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people that have gone through this, every single year. It like you said, it's got to be so rewarding to see these people finally walk across, do the whole cap with the tassel switch and it's got to just be amazing. So we talked strategic partnerships. Let's say somebody's listening to this and they thought to themselves, that might be a good idea. How do they get a hold of one of you guys to talk to you about these strategic partnerships if they want to try and start one or get enrolled in one or something?
Sure. Yeah. You can go to the website, bvu.edu. My page is /strategic-partnerships. So there's more information about how we work together, working hand in hand to offer those education benefits to their employees. There's a list of our current partners. So sometimes, again, that influencing, if you see someone, you know at that business and you're thinking, yeah, maybe I want to jump into, and there's a form online there they can fill out and contact me or give us a call. It's 712-749-1000. So we're happy to help with that.
I will throw a description and a little link down there. And so if anybody here you don't have to type it all in, just scroll down to the bottom. It's going to be right in the description. Click it and go. It'll be awesome. So yeah, that's amazing. I feel like that strategic partnership. How long has that been going on? I guess, did we already establish that?
About 4 years. Right when COVID started, the groundwork had been laid. Then it was just the outreach for that. So we started with 6 partners about that time. It was me and another person in the division, and she left. I think we were about 38 partners, and then since then it's grown to 180.
So Laura is a superstar.
I got a great team behind me. It's not all me. It really is a great team, and just getting the word out. So happy to partner with organizations. They don't have to be a certain size or a certain number of employees. It's really just the interest in offering that to their team.
I feel like, I graduated right around 2000. It was like my last coursework was right when COVID started. So I feel like had I known about this, had I taken a little bit longer and it was, in that time span, I totally would have let this influence my thought process for how I wanted to go into the future in my life. It seems like such a great idea. I wish this was available when I was growing up, not just be like when I was a kid, but I do wish this was available. This is such a good thing for people. Okay, so we have the mutual connection with Spin and BV with intentional connections. So what sparked the interest in sponsoring an event/program like this, or are there others?
Yeah, so I think it really goes back to, I think the question you might pose about how marketing, how does marketing influence what you do? And I heard about intentional connections through some people I got to know in Des Moines. Saw that they were posting about it on LinkedIn, and I was like, what is this? And did a little more research. I thought, I want to be a part of that. So went to Intentional Connections in the Des Moines area in January, and some of the Spin Marketing team was there, and they talked about bringing this networking platform and model to the Fort Dodge area. And that's practically in our backyard. So was super excited to be a part of that. It's I think we've all been to networking events where you walk in and it's kind of fast and furious. How many business cards may you collect? And how do I start a conversation with someone? Where this is really has a really nice flow to it. You meet people in a smaller group and really have a nice conversation. They give us some questions to talk about, and you really get to know the person in that time versus oh, that's Mackenzie from Spin Marketing. You know, you get to know who Mackenzie is. So we've enjoyed getting behind that and supporting that in this area in Des Moines. And I've just met a really great group of people, and they're excited about BVU, and we're excited to learn about them too, and how we can all help each other. That's really, at the end of the day, you know, what can I do to help them? And they in turn are the same way. So it's been a good thing to sponsor. If you haven't been to an Intentional Connections, it's in October here in Fort Dodge, right? Help me with the date, Mackenzie.
Oh no. You think I remember, because I was just working on the flyer for it. I want to say the number 18th is coming to my head, but I could be completely wrong. But maybe we'll correct it in the comments. But you know,
Yeah, we'll throw something down there for everybody.
More to come. October. We
I
got
just
a little
know it's
time,
October. So.
Intentional Connections.
Yes.
So look it up. Intentional Connections is coming in October to Fort Dodge.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then I think there's the Des Moines one is in November.
That sounds
Nice.
right.
If I remember right.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like you're talking the networking that kind of goes on there. That's kind of a lot of what you guys do is networking, right? I mean, that's like the beauty of it's education, but you're doing a lot of marketing too. You can't just like be like, well, we have a school and that's the end of the story. It just, people will show, if you build it, they will come. That's not exactly how it is. You know, like you said, you saw on LinkedIn, people were talking about this thing and you wanted to kind of get involved, Intentional Connections, and you kind of poked your nose into it and away we go. And now you're starting to do the whole partnership with Intentional Connections. It's not a whole lot different than, like you said, when you do a press release, when, oh, we partnered up with these people. I just wanted to let everybody know. It's not necessarily just for like a hooray BV. It's literally to let everyone know we offer this, we're doing this, you know, and that's marketing and that's networking. And I think that networking might be one of the best parts about marketing. It might be one of the biggest parts secretly, maybe. What do you think, Mac? No?
I think it kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think with the marketing, I mean, the networking is obviously integrated in it. I think the big thing is, especially now, we're getting into. I think it goes the same thing towards education as like with jobs. People want to know what the job is doing for the world, how they're helping out their community, how they're helping out, you know, everybody. It's not like, oh, I can make a whole bunch of money just by, you know, working here. It's, hey, they're actually doing a really good thing and I want to get behind it. And I think that's the same thing with education too, is they're not just going for, oh, I just want to get my degree.
Yeah, just getting a degree.
Yeah.
What can my degree do for me? What can the school help do for me as well? What can all of this combine together to make something better in life?
And I mean, who's going to go to school without like actually talking to somebody? Like, I mean, I could think of when I first even considered Iowa Central, I talked with a lot of the people that I was going to see every day. And that was the deciding factor for me, was how wonderful the people were to talk to. So
yeah,
networking is a big part of what you guys do for sure. But
we found 2 nice people from BV to talk to, so it's not like they're going to be too hard to find. You just got to go track them down, hit somebody up at BV and see what's going on there. So I got one more question for everybody. Name a time in your life when marketing has impacted you and you possibly didn't even realize it was doing it until it was all said and done. The example I always give is food. It's always food. It's candy. It's ice cream. Ice cream lately, I guess, has been the food choice for me. I don't know why. It's just every time I see a Dairy Queen logo, it's like, I got to go in there and get a Blizzard. Are they going to turn it upside down? Marketing, you know? So like, I don't know. A lot of that always impacts me. YouTube ads are getting crazy on my end too. They're starting to get really pointed and specific, and they're very good. So I'm trying my best to like steer clear of that, but marketing has really impacted me. How about you guys? You got anything that's impacted you with marketing that possibly you didn't know until afterwards?
I think for me it's just that endorsement. You kind of talked about it with education or, you know, the intentional connections. Seeing that someone endorses it or influences it is just saying, oh yeah, I've done this and I really like it. And you're kind of like, oh, what is that? I want to check into, you know, whatever it may be. I think having that confirmation from somebody, you know, or just knowing that they did that and tried it and they liked it makes you kind of like, oh, I want to check into that. What is this about? Maybe I will buy that. You know, I think there's so many choices now. There's just so much that you can, you know, find in your hometown or find online. If you if you don't really know the marketing behind it, or, if it's something you're going to like, it always helps to have someone say, hey, yeah, that's a good thing. So
yeah, it's true. It's like an independent review almost somebody's giving you. It's one thing to have a company say like, we're cool, you should come check us out. But it's something completely different when somebody independently on their own volition says, I went here and I enjoyed this and you should check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How about you?
Yeah, mine would be very similar. The testimonials that what comes to mind is like Tunnels for Towers. And when they have people on there whose lives have been affected by, coming back, and they're in the military and they get their mortgage paid off, like that motivates me to give to that. And so I can think of a lot of situations where that type of marketing, where it's just really emotional, tugs on your emotional heartstrings, gets me every single time.
It's like the Sarah McLachlan
Yes.
ads. I have to change the channel every time those come on because I can't watch it. It makes me so sad. I'm just like, I can't watch it. I'm too soft-hearted. It's not happening.
Those testimonials do work. I will have to say, like, I don't want to be like, guys are supposed to be emotionless or whatever. But I don't know. I see that kind of stuff too, and I guess maybe it took me until going through it myself to realize that like my life changed for the better because of something. And when I see somebody else had gone through something difficult and their life has now changed because of something has helped them, it's very powerful. I mean, it's very powerful. So I can definitely see where that would be a very good marketing opportunity. Or, it's almost, I almost don't even want to call it marketing. It's just honesty. You're just going out there and telling your story. And like marketing doesn't always have to be this big grandiose thing. It can be things that are literally just as simple as testimonials from customers, clients, just random individuals who have interacted with businesses, places, organizations, and things like that.
Well, I think of, have you seen like the Chick-fil-A commercials that they've started doing?
Oh, okay. What are the new ones?
Well, not to like eat more chicken, all that stuff,
Yeah.
but they've started doing a lot of testimonial commercials.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with their food. It has like nothing related to, oh, hey, we have chicken, but it's all about how one of their employees did something
Above
outside
and
of what they should, like what their job title is, and that's like the same thing. Like you're just like, oh, look at them. They're doing such a good job. Like now I need a chicken sandwich.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, as a university, you could just do your jobs. Like we have teachers come in, pay us money, leave, you get a degree, but you guys are going, I mean, you've created departments and you guys have gone above and beyond within these departments to partner with other community colleges, to partner with businesses, whole different communities all the way across the state. I mean, this is an example of exactly what you guys are doing of exactly that. I mean, obviously most businesses that are successful are not complacent. And that's what you guys have shown here at BV is complacency is not what you guys are doing. You guys are finding out what the communities need and finding a way to get it to those communities in a way that impacts the communities positively. And I'm sure it's really nice, like you said, when you come back, you see some of those testimonials, or the stories of the people that graduated when they're walking, and it kind of hits you. I think that's one of the beautiful things about universities and colleges. It almost markets itself. You get to go see people out in the real world succeeding, and they're going to say like they're going to go into job interviews and they're going to say BV. I went to BV. I got a 4-year at BV. And they could be somebody in my situation where it's like, I didn't get it until I was in my mid-20s, but I got one, and it's approved by them. So do we have anything else that we didn't cover that you guys might want to bring up that isn't on the list here?
No, I would just, this has been great. Thank you. And thank you for letting us share how passionate we are about, helping our students complete and get their degree. And, sometimes when I'm helping a student, I don't realize that how helpful I've been until I realize that if I hadn't stepped in, that they would have quit. And so I know that my team members feel the same way. They see that all the time, more than I do, even at my level, that, if they hadn't been a part of that person's journey, they would have just dropped out and quit. So changing lives is for the better is what we're all about. And so thanks for letting us share our story.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a great team of people at BVU that, like you said, really care and happy to help students fulfill their dreams. So.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys. I want to say thanks once again, Laura and Jean, for sitting down and talking with us. Thanks, everybody.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital.
Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market.
Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.
That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026 or visit our website www.spinmarket.com.